Hi. I guess the last time I spoke, it wasn't being recorded. Well, my name is Richard Francisco Perez Jr. I now live in Denver, Colorado. I was born in New York, married there. Second wife from my neighborhood didn't tell me her family was part of organized crime. And because I wouldn't join, or after my late wife died, marry one of their cousins. Because I was tired of being in a marriage where I was getting very little out of it, except for the fact that, yes, we educated my daughter the way I wanted her to be educated. Unfortunately, my oldest daughter didn't get everything that my youngest did, two different marriages. And since the second was organized crime, well, the child support payments never went up. What does that tell you about New York courts, family courts? Well, it even goes on in New York State Workers' Comp Court. In 2007, Papinas Temerero, I forget the other names, were supposed to have represented me. I flew in from New York, and look what happened. My daughter wouldn't let me stay in my old apartment with her. My sister wouldn't let me stay in my mother's old apartment. And both places had extra room because of my mother-in-law, Carmen Pizarro, who I didn't know at the beginning, but only at the end, was a godfather in organized crime. Her family is still part of organized crime. The last Puerto Rican mayor who ran against Bloomberg, I voted Bloomberg, was their family member. So do not tell me that organized crime is not putting members in the Senate and Congress, and I'm assuming now in the White House. Can't say if they've had anyone else in the White House, but this guy, I mean, how could he shithole countries? Countries aren't shitholes. People are. Especially with the crap that comes out of your President Trump. I voted Green Party and proud of it because I know the Democrats and Republicans want to keep the power. That's just like organized crime. They want to keep the power. That's why they've gotten into government. And I want to tell the American people the truth, one way or another. My daughter will stop using me to commit crimes against stealing from the American people, banks helping her, and the government, people in the government helping my daughter steal money from all of America. Yeah, the way they've done it for over, God, since my father died, I guess. I'm not sure how soon they started stealing his Social Security. But I know after my criminal lawyers and the criminal court, New York State Workers' Compensation Court, through a case, 2007. I was in New York, as I stated to you. They didn't allow me to be there, even though both parties knew I was in New York. In fact, I was staying in the only homeless shelter for seniors, run by the same damn family I had married into, who wanted to keep me because I had worked since an early age. And I'm supposed to be getting, right now, I am getting it. But the criminal administrator in Social Security sent me a letter stating they're going to take out money because of overpayment. Hey, whoever you are just as crazy as Trump if you think I'm going to allow you to get away with it. Before I die, and I am dying according to what the doctors told me, my kidneys are starting to shut down. And, I'm disgusted with the United States, especially after everybody didn't elect Trump, but he won through a technicality. I guess it would have been harder for me to say all these things if Hillary would have won, but I didn't trust her either. Having learned that my union 1199 was taken over by Dennis Rivera, one of my late wife's cousins. Also part of organized crime. He lied to the membership. It was not because he wanted a small raise for the membership that he gave money to management. It was to pay them back for the monies they loaned him to run against our last great leader, Doris Turner. It's sad that in my union and now in our country, we get anuses who control or and all right, Dennis Rivera, a lot smarter, a lot younger than Donald Trump. We know Donald Trump's a bigot, and we know through reporting that he has had many contacts with people in organized crime. And the only shithole countries are those run by members of organized crime. They are just as cruel as every cruel leader before them. I compare President Trump to Nero. Hell, Nero. That's what he wants. He likes that. Hell, Nero, Trump. Almighty anus of the United States. You have screwed the American people by only giving us a few years of tax relief. But why have you given yourself a forever tax relief and the rich? And it's already been proven there is no trickle down economics. No, 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 no. That doesn't work. But again, well, who believes him? I don't. And, for him to say what he had said, if within a month one side or the other doesn't start impeachment, because we cannot allow a man like him to continue to be president of the United States, because he is ruining the reputation. Yeah, I agree. There are before him people who covertly toppled democratic governments that the United States of America employed. That is a shameful history. Yes, we have a shameful history here in the United States of the rich stealing, of because they are white, they think they can take Indian land. And when the United States wants to break a treaty, they just break it. They let industries break it. Because there are a lot of industries today controlled by organized crime, just like the United States government. I have gone from the police, FBI several times, even set proof of the Bank of the West stealing money from the government. I'm still waiting to hear from the FBI. And they can't say that I'm crazy, because I can tell them exactly where to go to find the proof of criminal activity in our government caused by organized crime. It's not a joke. We already put an anus in the White House. What makes you think we don't have anuses working in our government? And anuses who are part of organized crime in government. One of those in government just had a trial, and it's because of my mother in law going into Republican neighborhoods, putting crazy glues in locks, chaining gates so Republicans can vote, that helped this senator win. He's the damn criminal, part of organized crime. There seems to be quite a few. And I hope those two states that have those two elected representatives who said they didn't hear that or something to that effect, well, they shouldn't be reelected. Because if that's how they represent the American people, they have no rights being in Congress or the Senate. I switch something to participation so others might be able to come in. I doubt it, though, because just like they've taken over the government, organized crime have been taking over industries also. My late wife's family had everything from police officers to elected officials, which were part of organized crime. And why doesn't the FBI want to know? You tell me. I've written everybody from the police department to the White House, FBI several times. I've given the White House proof that Bank of the West was stealing money from my account. They didn't care. So, does this government represent me? I don't think so. Does this government represent the Constitution of the United States? I don't think so. I am really, really sad that Trump is supposedly representing the United States. He doesn't. He represents himself, only himself, and always himself. He doesn't care about the American people. That's been his history. You can't deny that. It's ridiculous to deny that Trump hasn't stole, hasn't paid back banks, or tell me why Trump has gotten away with borrowing monies and not paying back banks. How does he do it? Why does he do it? And who are in the banks now that allow him to not pay back loans in the United States? How come the government doesn't go after him for not paying back the loans, for not paying people who have contracts with him? He is a thief, a criminal in the White House. And it seems the Republican Party, and I haven't been a Democrat in several years because of my late wife's family. I am not a Democrat. Because if they supposedly represent the Democratic Party doesn't represent the American people either. Neither major party does. We need certain laws. We need a law that states only public monies for elections. It's very simple. This is an order. So the rich don't buy up politicians as they have done in the past, or unions, because they're both bad. And they're both bad. We have an insane system. That's why we need to change that law. Only public monies for elections. It'll be a lot cheaper and a lot more people will run, hopefully squeezing out members of organized crime. Because I believe back in the 60s, they did kill Kennedy. I believe that that meeting they had in upstate New York is about taking over the country, which they have been doing. In fact, I guess my daughter didn't want the free computer. And since I had bought an HP computer that never properly worked, or maybe it was her cousin who works for IBM who wrote a program to attack my computer. It's possible. But HP gave me a new computer. Exactly what I wanted. They didn't have everything I wanted, and I had problems with that because of them putting programs to look in. Well, look, here's a man dying. Yeah, That's what I was told, that my kidneys are shutting down. So I'm going up there, hopefully, because that's the way I tried to live my life. Tried to do the right things for the right reasons. Tried to give my daughters everything I could. As a father, as a parent, I believe every parent is supposed to make their children's life easier by giving them the education they need to conquer the world. That's what good parents want. They want their children to be leaders, not of a criminal group, but of a group that believes in one race, the human race, in one people, the people of Earth. We cannot keep allowing criminals to run our country. Well, you got one thing, which is we need to pay for elections, only public monies. Another thing we need, it keeps floating in and out of my mind, is a place where is provided by the government that shows which each and every uh, representative that we've elected, we have the right to see their records on what they are voting on. So we can know if they're voting for the people or if they're voting for the criminal. And if they're voting for the criminal, that is one way of us finding out. And it should be a good way. Also, uh, what else do we need in this country besides public monies for elections to uh, bring back democracy to the United States? We need a whistleblowing law. So when these criminals get elected and they put a person who's part of organized crime as an administrator, because today we have people in organized crime to run the gamut. It seems that every group that comes here, there is a small portion of every group that don't want to work, don't want to obey God, don't want to obey the laws of a nation, don't want others to have the rights that they want. The American people need a voice, and it's not Trump. Because every time Trump opens his mouth, he puts his foot in it. If Trump wasn't born into money, I doubt it very seriously if he would have been able to become a rich person. Sure, he was able to, you know, make his name a brand, but yeah, there are New Yorkers that believe what I believe. He's had too many connections with criminals, with organized crime. Uh, he's not paid people their proper wages. He's torn down buildings that shouldn't have been torn down and hired people from another country to tear it down because no one in the U.S. wanted to face that fine. He didn't care. Because what Trump wants, Trump wants. what the American people want, if it's not what Trump wants, we ain't gonna get it. I think he's starting to prove that. I think he's also proving how crazy he is. It's hard to prove that with my mother-in-law since she's part of organized crime. And hell, I know I've met doctors who have forged records claiming people are crazy when they're not. What we need to do, what I would like to do, is form a group that will go after organized crime and government in America. If we still have the Constitution, I'll be able to form that group before I die and hope that that group will go by God's laws. But we're in a country, separation of church and state. So I hope we have the laws in our country. And if we don't have them now, well, I hope the people who win and only public monies for elections will appreciate the American people because they're the ones paying that person's salary. That they don't know they're working for America and not for any greedy, cruel, inhumane president like Trump. He's not a president of or by the people. I believe he became president because it was a punishment for all the criminals that have gotten into government before Trump. It is up to the American people to do something about it. I'm still looking for an agency in the government who still believes in the Constitution of the United States and is willing to uphold it. Because I can tell you where to go to find the crimes and who are the criminals. You have a criminal in New York Social Security. You have a criminal in New York State Workers' Comp Court. My attorneys, Papanish, Reef, Timarero, whatever. They're criminals. They shouldn't be practicing law since they work for organized crime. Because that's who is truly against me, since I won't marry another one of their daughters. I'd rather, well, I guess I will die before marrying another one of their daughters.